Ciao, mi chiamo Garrett, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a delicious, simple, authentic Roman dish called la carbonara. So my first tip for making la carbonara is if you're online looking for a recipe and you're watching the video e lo chef non parla italiano, cambiate video, cambiate ricetta, ok? Servono italiani per queste ricette. The history of la carbonara is very interesting. Carbonara means the coal girl. But the story goes that American GIs were stationed in Italy and they would get bacon and eggs for their rations, as Americans do for breakfast, and they mixed it with pasta. Now, Italian chefs got a hold of that and they took it to the next level and made it buonissimo. Ogni italiano davanti ai fornelli è sicuro di avere la ricetta perfetta. That's because Italians take pride in how they make their recipe. It's a family tradition sometimes, and there are very few ingredients, so how you use them makes a huge difference in the execution and the final flavor of the pasta. A lot of the scandal, la polemica in Italy, comes down to a few factors, whether we use pancetta or guanciale, whether we use pecorino romano, or we use parmigiano reggiano, or whether we use the whole egg, just the yolk. One thing among Italians for which there is absolutely zero debate is whether or not you put cream in la carbonara. You don't put cream in la carbonara. No, non si fa. All right, enough talk about la carbonara. I'm getting very hungry. C'ho fame. Let's cook. Ecco gli ingredienti. Carbonara is a very simple recipe, so we only have about 6 ingredients. First choice, and this will cause quite a stir in the comments, is whether to use guanciale or pancetta. Guanciale comes from the cheek. It means cheek in Italian. Pancetta means tummy. It comes from the stomach, just like bacon. Next, we're gonna crack 1 egg per person. That's the rule. 1 egg per person for this dish. I like to use the whole egg. This will cause some more polemica. Do we use just the tuorlo, just the egg yolk, or do we use the whole egg? I like to use the whole egg. So again, 1 per person. Then we're going to take a handful each of Parmigiano Reggiano. Has to be Reggiano, not Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano. Look on the outside of the cheese. If it says Parmigiano Reggiano, that's how you know you've got the right stuff. I also like to take a handful of the Pecorino Romano, and we mix that with the cheese, with a little pepper, and we set it aside. Here's our pasta. It's very important to get good quality, imported pasta from Italy. If you notice, this pasta is a little rough on the outside, and that's a good thing. It means it's more artisanal and the sauce will stick to it better. Again, since we only have 6 ingredients, make sure that you get good quality eggs. We want egg yolks that are nice and yellow and dark for our sauce. Pepper is the only spice that we're adding to this dish, so depending on how spicy you like it, you can be a little more heavy-handed. First, we're going to cut the skin off one side of the guanciale, then we'll cut it into nice thick slices, and then we'll cut it into long strips, which we can cook down into nice crispy bits. We're gonna drop this into the frying pan right now on a low flame with no oil in the pan. So our guanciale is rendering and it's starting to look nice and crispy. Our water's boiling. And one big problem with Americans cooking pasta is they don't put enough salt in the water. We want to flavor this pasta. So now that it's at a rolling boil, I'm gonna put a nice big handful of salt in there. And our pasta. Okay, la pasta è pronta. Now instead of straining it, what I'm going to do is put it here in my sink and use these tongs to take the pasta out. That way it still retains a little bit of that precious pasta water, which will help us make our emulsion. Now that we have our pasta out, I'm going to quickly add our guanciale and our oil. And I'm going to add our raw egg mixture. And we're going to mix it quickly so that the hot pasta cooks the sauce and makes almost like an emulsion. And that's what creates the thick, creamy sauce. Now, if it's looking a little dry, we can add a little bit more pasta water, but this is looking pretty good. Buon appetito! In Italy, you eat as soon as the pasta is ready. And to be honest, I can't wait. Brings me right back to Rome. Perfetto.